Ethereum, buy, short, or hodl. That's what we're going to look at today in depth and give you my opinion and my best guess of what is happening based on the facts and the facts alone. So let's get right to it. On the daily chart with Ethereum, you could see something very important is happening right now that we haven't done in a considerable amount of time. And I'm talking since April, right? Are you seeing it, right? Ethereum is breaking through the 21-day EMA. And it might not seem like a big deal, but we haven't done it since, you might guess, we closed right on it right there in May. But no, a green candle happened last time back in early April. So those are things you want to be paying attention to. Not only that, but we have a little bit of a triangle forming here, right? So let's see what we've, like a little ascending wedge. Here we go. See this? This is what we're looking for right now. So we should know a lot more on Ethereum, whether we're going to long or short here in a very, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but we're going to get to the weekly chart as well. And there's some more bigly things happening. Okay. So we're potential looking at an Ethereum breakout against the US dollar. So what level would it be? Well, is it here? That's the close, but really, for a breakout and to get a really nice long, you want to really break through all previous local top wicks and everything. So really, you're looking around 1275. You want to be safe. Maybe you wait until you get above the EMA 34 here, which can often act as resistance. It's acted as pretty big resistance on Bitcoin on the daily. So you know, a longing from this point would still bring a nice little profit run in for you. If you're into swing trading, this is a great setup here. So even if you long after the 34, right? So not now. If you're waiting for confirmation, you could still potentially make upwards of 30%. Because why here? Why was that random spot picked, right? You just look left, and that's kind of your next resistance zone, and it's pretty definitively laid out here for Ethereum. Right, you're looking at somewhere in there, around 1700 for the earliest, and because we didn't have much support going down, right? So there's not really a whole lot of resistance going up. Of course, your moving averages are going to always help you out on resistance levels. So shorting at resistance, aka moving averages, will always, with tight stops, is always a decent play. Now we're moving this back. What else is happening? Well, the EMA 8, the red, is potentially getting ready to cross in the next day or two, assuming prices continue up, over the 21. When was the last time that happened? Well, you got to go back to March, right? Right there. Cross to the upside. And what happened? What happens when that usually occurs is you get a more of a sustained rally. So we're seeing things take place that haven't taken place in, literal months. Relief rally, maybe a sustained relief rally. Maybe we could get back up to 1700. Maybe we would see alts go another 20 to 30% increase across the board from these prices. That would be be something we haven't seen in a considerable amount of time, right? At least since back in this area where we got rejected off of the 200-day, right, SMA right there. That's kind of the line in the sand to really overtake bullish momentum again, but that's a long ways off. So that's what I'd be looking for on the daily. Let's go to the weekly and see what else we're coming up to. Well, if you haven't already seen the 200 week, right? That is a big line for Bitcoin. It's a big line for any coin, right? And we're potentially getting ready to close above that. That's huge. So that line, that number right now is 1209. 1209. So that's where we need to close the weekly candle, which is 3 days, 6 hours, 1209. And then you have at least a foot in the door for more sustained bull run. So if we do that, then our next resistance, where is it on the weekly? We don't really have a big level on the weekly, right? Then you want to look at your EMA 8. Weekly EMA 8 will often be key, pivot points, if you will. So you'll, if you could somehow flip that, then you really got 2 feet in the door, maybe. Maybe you got 2 feet in the door, maybe a little finger. That's we're getting a little far ahead, so we'll keep you updated. But noticing on the daily chart for Ethereum, some big things starting to potentially happen. But so far, the odds of this rejecting between where we are now and the EMA 34, I would say is still probably 70%. Odds of us rejecting someone here is probably 70%, but that's decreasing with every dollar upwards we go, and certainly probably cut even more in half, at least if we get above 1280, something like that. Then you got the bulls are really maybe got one eye open. Okay, a lot of analogies here that don't mean a whole lot. The bulls one eye open, we got feet in the door, a pinky in there. Let's look at one more thing. If you're still here, we got a couple of indicators, right, that we can look at. The RSI, right? We're gaining strength, relative strength. This is the highest we've been since way back in May, right? So we're trying to gain, really you want your, bullish momentum to take place, gain strength when you're above 50, right? You can see it's been a hot minute since we've been above 50. April, and then to the upside, I mean, you're looking at March, right? And we know what happened in March, right? That we just looked at that level where we had that little bit of a rally, right? Let me remind you, the daily back in March, right? We just looked at it. That was that rally. That was the nice little rally we had. So that was the last time the RSI on the daily was above 50. So that's what you want to look at. And do we have the momentum pushing us upwards? The answer is resounding yes, right? So we have our pedal to the metal up here, right? We're above the shaded area, which is what you want. This is all out go zone, right? You have to have momentum to keep your move going, right? And we have it right now. So maybe day over day, if we get a nice close above the 21 today, right? That would be a huge move for Ethereum. If we can somehow close tomorrow up in this zone, or up to the 34 around 1300, that's another big move. If we start to close outside of this box, the odds astronomically go up that you're going to make a nice little move like we did way back here, right? Something similar to that, and it would probably end up looking pretty much like this, right? It's probably going to go for the rest of July. Could potentially be a positive move to the upside before we face our major resistance zones, not just for Ethereum, probably for a lot of coins. Reset the indicators on the daily chart, the weekly chart, and then you guessed it, the odds are we're probably going to reject. That would be the odds. And then we have more consolidation. This has not been enough testing to really recover, right? As far down as we have dropped since November, this little paltry little bottom test is not normal for a one and done, right? We're probably going to have to spend a couple more test points down here, but that's just the odds. That's all you have in crypto. No certainty, but uncertainty, right? So we'll either do something like this and reject and then spend, rest of, Q3, maybe part of Q4 down here around this area, just consolidating, which would be healthy, right? Silver lining. Or, maybe the Fed does a 180 pivot and something else crazy happens, right? If that happens and, and we somehow break above here and hit like 2K and then come back and we hold this zone, right? This would be a huge level, right? If we do something like this and then hold this and consolidate here, now we're talking. Now we can start bringing bulls back in the rodeo. Okay, then we can maybe get going a little bit sooner than anyone really has anticipated. But this is the outlier, right? I think the more logical thing, and if you really think about it, not using your bias, this would make the most sense. Going up here, relief rally, reset all the indicators, and then dipping back, reconsolidation, and then this just ends up being a, these big ebb and flow waves, for several months, which is exactly what we would need to start the next bull run. So that's my 2 cents on Ethereum. I kept it under 10 minutes so far, so hopefully that helps you out. I haven't covered Ethereum a lot, but mostly Bitcoin and a couple alts. If you have any questions, let me know. We'll try to do a couple more. The bear market's really slow, so it's just not getting like any views. And for those of you that watch all the time, I appreciate you sincerely. So let's get to the quote of the day, July 7th. Travel becomes a strategy for accumulating photographs. You do tend to take more pictures on vacation. Does anybody go on vacation and not take any pictures? maybe for the no technology zone, huh? Sometimes that's fine too. No TV, no internet, no phone. Just throw your phone in the rice. Save the water. Forget the water. Just bypass the water to the rice. Car of the day, McLaren 720S. It's been too long since I've covered McLaren, so I had to throw this in. This is in their Azul, which I'm well aware of. It means blue. But it's Azul something. I can't remember off the top of my head. But this is the Spider version. So the convertible, right? The fastest convertible converting in the whole industry, the whole supercar industry. It's like 12 seconds. Put the whole thing up and put the whole thing down. It's pretty fast. You got cars like, I think Lamborghini is like 2 minutes or something. You imagine sitting on the side of the highway, rain's coming, and 2 minutes to put your top up. I'll take this one. This is a nice blue. I've seen this one in real life. It's pretty good. It's like bluish green, as you may be able to tell. But my favorite blue is actually called Paris blue. It's that one right there. If I was gonna get blue, it'd have to be that one. What do you think? You like that one better, or this one, or am I talking to myself because there's literally no one watching at this point? All right, thumbs up if you haven't already. I appreciate you. I'll see you on the next one.